We're playing Modern Ruby Storm, the Rail Monsoon Mage plus Ruby Medallion mono red combo deck in Modern. Let's go check it out. This is Modern Izzet Ruby Storm, and it's a donation deck from Ari, who's one of the channel's longest supporters. When I opened up memberships, Ari was one of the first 3 people to join, and I really appreciate their continued membership over the last 5+ years at this point. So Ari, thank you. And today's donation deck is from Ari, who recently went 5-0 with this deck list. So before we hop on in and describe some of the things, I would like to make a quick note that I've been sick the last few days, just a lot of vomiting. I'm feeling a lot better today. That said, my voice has been in and out, and sometimes it just cracks. I can't help it. It's just, symptoms of being sick the last few days, so please bear with me. So this deck list is pretty stock. You have the Artist Talent, 3 Flame of Anor, 2 Strike It Rich, and then the Gemstone Caverns. Those are the flex spots, and other than that, it's pretty stock. It's 4 copies of Ruby Medallion, Rail Monsoon Mage, or 8 rituals between Desperate Ritual and Pyretic Ritual, 3 copies of Past in Flames, 2 Wish, and everything else is pretty normal. In the sideboard, we have 4 copies of Pact of Negation, no copies of Spell Pierce, 3 copies of Into the Floodmaw, and the 4th one became a Flame of Anor, even though you have 3 in the main deck, and then everything else is your classic Wish targets. There's nothing really to discuss here. It's not spicy. It's just stock, and sometimes that's what's good. So that's what we're playing today. Let me and Ari know what you think of the deck list down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we're on the draw, and we actually have the Gemstone Caverns in our hand. And this hand is a pretty good example of why I don't even like Gemstone Caverns, for 2 reasons. 1, there's not a single card in this hand that I would like to pitch in order to make this hand faster. The other reason, I have a Thundering Falls. Even if I were to draw into another card, it'd have to be an untapped land so I could play the Ruby Medallion on turn 1. I'm not going to do anything here. I'm going to just keep the Gemstone Caverns in my hand. And this is why in previous videos, I've cut the Gemstone Caverns and I'm just playing a utility land like an Ottawara, Soaring City, or something like that. And it looks like our opponent's playing Hammer Time due to the Leyline Axe. Okay, and they play a creature. We'll go to our turn. I mentioned in the deck tech, but if you're someone that skips it, I've been sick the last few days, and, my voice is still a little cracky, so bear with me if my voice goes in and out throughout the video. I can't really control it, but I'm feeling well enough to record. My voice is still just recovering. They play an Elegant Parlor, sure. Ooh, they forgot about the legend rule there. Brutal. Okay. So you could try to win here. You could play Desperate Ritual, Ruby Medallion, Manamorphose. I'm going to just play the Ruby Medallion and pass. I don't think there's a reason here to get a little greedy. Our opponent isn't threatening lethal or anything even close. So let's just pass the turn. They have 3 cards in. Like, if you kill me from this board state, you earned it. So now they're going to swing. Ouch. Okay. So now we're going to try to win. The Desperate Ritual on top actually probably would have let us win last turn, but banking on your top card being a ritual just seemed very greedy. Okay, so we hit the rail. We'll play that. Ren's Resolve, trigger the rail, say Tails. We lose the flip, classic. We hit 2 lands. I'll play 1. We'll fetch. Grabby Mountain. We'll play Desperate Ritual, trigger. We'll say Tails again. We win the flip. I'll say no. I don't want to transform quite yet. We'll play a Reckless Impulse. Tails. We lose the flip. Ren's Resolve, trigger the rail. And now I'll Manamorphose to increase our odds of flipping. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. We'll make a red. Drew into a land. I'll say Tails again. We win the flip, I'll say yes. So now Ren's Resolve resolves, we'll play Pyretic Ritual, and we'll ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. Let's expand this. Play Manamorphose, Red, Reckless Impulse, Strike It Rich, Reckless Impulse, another Strike It Rich, Ren's Resolve, play Rail Monsoon Mage, play Manamorphose, trigger, say Tails, we win the flip, I'll say yes. Keep the one with 17 counters on it. Manamorphose now resolves, will make 2 red mana. And ultimate this Rail Leyline Prodigy. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. We have not found the win yet. Are either of these free? Yes, 1 Past in Flames is free here. 17 cards left in our deck. We'll play Ren's Resolve. There's the Wish. We'll play Wish. And this allows us to play the sideboard copy of Grapeshot in order to win game number 1 versus Hammer Time. Sweet. Okay, so I'll bring in Into the Floodmaw. That seems like a card we want here. The Flame of Anor seems decent as well. Probably take out the Strike It Rich and the Artist Talents and hit submit. Game number 2 on the draw, we will keep. This hand does need a cost reducer, but I like having the Into the Floodmaw and, you know, a lot of mana. So this hand seems fine to me. They play a first turn Arid Mesa, Mishra's Bauble, for a Sacred Foundry, Sigarda's Aid, fast hand. Now another Mishra's Bauble. Look at their storm count, already up to 3. Well, if they had a Mox Opal, which it doesn't look like they do, they could have played it that turn and had Metalcraft on turn 1 as well. But they'll just be content with drawing 2 cards in my upkeep off of these Mishra's Baubles. Ooh, we drew the Ruby Medallion. Good draw. I will pass the turn. They're fetching with the Arid Mesa. And they're going to play a Cloud. Sure. So it searches their deck for an equipment and then it puts it to their hand. And they're going to grab the Colossus Hammer. I'm going to Surveil. We could try for a turn 2 win here. It really depends on what we Surveil into. The other Thundering Falls, we don't want that. Another Ritual. So I could definitely try for a turn 2 win here. But the thing is, our only spell is Manamorphose. So if I miss, it's a pretty big feels bad. I think I'm going to pass. And then if they try to kill me, I have Into the Floodmaw. And we get an extra draw step to potentially draw into something. Surveiling away the Thundering Falls was very bad. Because, I mean, it was correct to surveil it away, but I would have liked to have been able to fetch for it this turn and then surveil on their end step. They play an Esper Sentinel, and now the Colossus Hammer in their main phase, even though it has Flash. So they're going to put it on their creature here, and now they play an Elegant Parlor, and they put the card on top of their deck. I'm going to bounce their creature. They'll get to draw a card here. I guess I could just... Okay, never mind. I should have fetched first. I could actually pay the 1. Just poor play by me. I could have paid the 1 there. I should have fetched prior. My bad. I gave our opponent an extra card. If we lose this, I'll blame myself. We'll grab a Steam Vents. Alright, well, I think it's time to do something. So, Pyretic Ritual. They'll draw another card here. We'll play Ruby Medallion. Pyretic Ritual again. Manamorphose. We'll make 2 blue. That's not a hit. That's not a good sign. So I will play Past in Flames, but I'm not going to put any more mana into it. And now I will Manamorphose again. We'll make 2 blue. Ooh, okay, that was a good hit. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Play the Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll play Pyretic Ritual from the graveyard and then Into the Floodmaw. And we'll bounce the Esper Sentinel. We'll say Tails, we lose the flip. Tails, we lose the flip. Okay, so I have 2 more chances. 3 if you count the flashback. Alright, so we lose the flip. I guess it's 5 with the flashback of Past in Flames. We lose the flip again. Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. Past in Flames. Tails. We lose the flip. Uh-oh. Why is it not working, Tails? We lose the flip. Desperate Ritual. Tails. We won the flip, finally. Down to the very last spell. Ultimate the Rail. And there's the win. So we'll play Wish and Grape Shot, target you. That was a nail biter. Take that, Hammer Time. And we got the match. So we are now 1-0 to start off this Modern League. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw again. I've opened up a hand with 2 lands. They're both Valakut Awakening, which means they're both tap lands. That said, this hand is still pretty good. We're going to keep it. Basic Plains, okay. Ooh, we drew Thundering Falls. We'll play that one. Keep the Striker Rich. So this might seem weird to you, but that means on turn 2 I can play one of my 2 tap lands that we know that we have. And then on turn 3, I could play Monsoon Mage plus Manamorphose and try to get something moving. So I'll play the Valakut Awakening tapped as a land, play the Striker Rich, and pass the turn. Not really sure what the opponent's up to quite yet. So they're just on like mono white prison, I guess. We'll play the Steam Vents untapped, a Ruby Medallion, and we'll play Ren's Resolve. Pass the turn. If they want to destroy one of my lands so I can go grab a basic, that's fine. And they do. We have 3 more basics left in the deck. Well, 2 after this one. Looks like they're just like mono white control. Ghost Quarter. Witch Enchanter. This will kill the Ruby Medallion. But now I have a window of opportunity to try to win here. So we'll play the Monsoon Mage. Desperate Ritual. Trigger will say no. And then I'll play Manamorphose. Say Tails. We win the flip. No. Red. We'll play the Ruby Medallion. So our count for Rail is N-2. So Storm count -2. So it's 2 spells towards Rail. We'll play the Desperate Ritual. Say Tails. So that's 3. 3 is not good enough. We'll play the Ren's Resolve. Tails. We win the flip. I'll say no. Artist Talent and Past in Flames. Okay. I think I'm interested in Past in Flames here. So this is 5. 5 is not good enough, but Past in Flames is going to be able to cast our graveyard, so we like that. This is 6. We win the flip. I'll say yes. And now I can ultimate the Rail. We'll play Striker Rich for free. I probably should have played out the other Rail from my hand. We'll play Manamorphose, I guess. Trigger the Rail. We won the flip. I'll say yes. Make red. Play another Ruby Medallion because I can. We'll play the Artist Talent. Ultimate the Rail. Pyretic Ritual. Triggers. We'll discard the Valakut Awakening. Play Reckless Impulse. Manamorphose. Firm is 15. So at this point we're just digging for Wish. Play Desperate Ritual. Play the Pyretic Ritual. Storm 18. Ren's Resolve. We had another Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll play that. We'll play Flame of Anor for free. We'll draw 2 and kill their creature. So Rail triggers. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. Flame of Anor. Okay. We'll play Reckless Impulse. From 22. Discard Thundering Falls. And we find the Wish. Sweet. Say Tails. We lose the flip. Reckless Impulse. Play the Wish. From 24, I'll discard the Ruby Medallion. We draw the other Wish. Say Tails. We win the flip. We'll say yes. Keep the one with 19 counters on it. And the opponent concedes. Nice. Alright, so pretty similar to match number 1. We're going to bring in the Bounce Spells and Flame of Anor. Get rid of Striker Rich and Artist Talent. Game number 2 on the draw. This hand is great. We'll keep. This could be a potential turn 2 win depending on what we find. Alright, they play turn 1 tap land. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. So on turn 2 right now, we could play Desperate Ritual, Ruby Medallion, Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose up to 4 mana. Well, they have a High Noon, so that looks like that's out the door. Okay. I guess we'll grab a Thundering Falls, keep the land, play the Scalding Tarn, fetch. So you might be saying, why play the Scalding Tarn over the mountain? Well, I'm playing it because these sort of decks often have, what is it called? The creature where you have to pay 2 to search your deck. I can't, Arbiter? Leonin Arbiter, something like that. And I want to make sure that I'm able to hit my land drops. They play a Relic, that's fine. Sure, they exile a land. You got it. Okay, so I think I'm going to just Valakut Awakening here for some number. It feels bad to put a bunch of rituals on the bottom of the deck, but we just need to find an Into the Flood Maw for this High Noon. Alright, 3 rituals going on the bottom. Part of me wonders if I should keep the Manamorphose or not, but it cycles, so I think I want it. And that was fine. So now we have the possibility of trying to win next turn, assuming our opponent doesn't play another hate permanent. End step, I will Into the Flood Maw, targeting the High Noon, and our opponent will get a tapped fish. Sure, they're going to Relic me. You got it. Okay, so we'll start with a Ren's Resolve. It's Rail and Ruby Medallion. I would like to Manamorphose. Red, red. We hit a Desperate Ritual. That was very welcome here. We'll play the Desperate Ritual. I think I'm going to play the Rail here, and then we'll Flame of Anor with both modes. We'll destroy an artifact and draw 2. Target myself, target the Relic, pay the blue. Rail triggers. And if they try to kill the Rail, I can Valakut Awakening for 1 mana. We win the flip. I'm going to say no. We're going to exile all graveyards, that's fine. Alright, time to Valakut Awakening. Rail triggers. I'll say tails, we lose the flip. And I think we're going to put all 4 on the bottom here. Well, that was pretty good. We'll play Pyretic Ritual, trigger. Say tails, we lose the flip. Celestial Purge, you got it. We'll play Ren's Resolve. Another Rail, we'll play it. We'll play the Ritual. Solitude. Okay, so that is going to force me to fizzle here. That's a bummer. So our opponent's going to be able to play the High Noon next turn. We don't need another Past in Flames. I'll play the Ruby Medallion. And we'll pass. So I know that there's another copy of Into the Flood Maw on the bottom of my deck. We could use a fetch land to shuffle. High Noon is back. Like, I could have not have played the Rail and just been content with Ren's Resolve, Past in Flames Ren's Resolve, but there's a chance that didn't win, so I didn't love that. We'll draw 2 here off of Flame of Anor, play the land, and pass the turn. So the nice thing is that this will shuffle our deck, and a copy of Into the Flood Maw that's on the bottom will be shuffled in. So I'll go to 12. We'll grab Steam Vents. Play the Reckless Impulse. Play the Arid Mesa. We'll pass. I can Flame of Anor on their turn. They're going to make a human. That's fine. They swing. I go to 10. On the end step, we'll fetch. I go to 9. We'll draw 2 more here with the Flame of Anor. I have to worry about the High Noon actually just killing me, being at 9 life, because they could sacrifice it and deal me 5. Alright, we'll draw 2 more here off of Flame of Anor. Uh-oh, running out of time here. 24 cards left in deck. So they're going to attack, and then they can deal me 5 with the High Noon, so I'm dead in 2 turns. Okay. There is no answer off of the Wish. We're not playing like Wisp Mare, which would be the card you'd want. So now they swing. I mean, I have to draw exactly 1 of 2 copies of Into the Flood Maw this turn. And we did. So we'll play it with Gift, bounce the High Noon, give you another fish. They should sacrifice it here. Reprieve. Wow! Wow! That's insane. It's the perfect answer here, because I can't... Because then they could sacrifice it and kill me. Okay, wow, Reprieve for the win. Nice on their end. Alright, we're going to resubmit. On the play. Sure, we'll keep player and Mesa past the turn. Basic Plains, we'll fetch. Thundering Falls. Keep the Flame of Anor. And I could play a Ren's Resolve here. I don't think I'm going to, because if they play a High Noon, I don't know if I love just wasting this card. Alright, well, no turn 2 High Noon. That's good. We'll grab another Thundering Falls. Get rid of the... Well, I guess if they have a Surgical... I don't really want the Wish, though. I'm going to get rid of it. If they have Surgical, they have Surgical. We'll play Ren's Resolve. I guess I need a red mana for that, huh? Pass the turn. They play a Field of Ruin. We'll fetch on the end step. Grab the Steam Vents. Play Ruby Medallion. We'll play Steam Vents untapped. Pass the turn. March of Otherworldly Light. Okay, I think I will Veilcut Awakening here. Get rid of the Arid Mesa. And I think that's going to be it. So we'll just draw 2. They have 6 cards in their hand. We'll play Ren's Resolve. Scalding Tarn and Rail Monsoon Mage. I'm going to just pass the turn here. We'll float a blue. Grab a basic mountain. And then I'll draw 2 cards here off the Flame of Anor. They play a Ghost Quarter. We'll fetch on the end step. They have 6 cards in their hand. In my upkeep, they're going to destroy Thundering Falls. I'll search. Past in Flames. Play the Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll start with a Desperate Ritual, see if this resolves. I don't know what they have, but I can play Desperate Ritual to try to protect the Rail here. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. You know what? I am going to transform, so that way I don't have to worry about creature removal. Because I think I could probably win this game. Like, I don't need the ultimate. Like, I think I have everything I need already. So I'm going to play Wish now, and you might be saying that's weird. But it gives me Pact of Negation protection if our opponent has like an Orm's Chant or something. Play Ren's Resolve. We hit land and Ruby Medallion. I'll fetch. I think I still have 1 Steam Vent, so I could be wrong. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's all of them. Yeah, that's all the fetchables. Okay. Play Desperate Ritual. Past in Flames. Celestial Purge. Okay, so if I Pact of Negation here, I can pay for it, but if they have something else, I'm probably in trouble. So I will play Pact of Negation. And they have the Orm's Chant. Okay. So I have to pass, and then in my next upkeep, I have to pay for Pact. And they have Skyclave. Sure. Alright, we're paying for Pact of Negation. And I'm not going to be able to play the Ruby Medallion this turn, unfortunately. I'm going to just play out the Veilcut Awakening. We need the mana, because it allows me to flashback Past in Flames. They attack. Ouch. Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll play it. They have 4 cards. Reckless Impulse. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. I'll say no. Path to Exile. I will Into the Flood Maw to bounce the Skyclave and try to flip this Rail. Say Tails. We lose the flip. Okay, so I guess my Rail is getting exiled. Alright, and I do not have a basic to grab here. Reckless Impulse. We hit the Gemstone Caverns. And I'll pass. So next turn I have enough mana to go Pyretic Ritual Past in Flames. Sure, my land is destroyed. If they have another Orm's Chant, it's going to hurt. Because I can't do anything about that. We'll play the Pyretic Ritual. Flashback Past in Flames. And Reprieve, too strong. Alright, we'll attack for 2. And I'll play Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. Another Skyclave. We will play Reckless Impulse. Might as well play the land, I suppose. Another Reckless Impulse. Into double Past in Flames. A little awkward. We'll pass the turn. If they have another Orm's Chant, I am in a lot of trouble. We'll draw for turn. Play Past in Flames. They should have done this in my upkeep. They messed up. Because then both copies of Past in Flames would have been exiled. So they definitely messed up. I will pass the turn. Unfortunately, I can't punish them because I need another mana to flashback the Past in Flames. We will cycle Manamorphose. Red, red. Cycle Manamorphose. Red, blue. I mean, I can try. Pyretic Ritual. Flashback Past in Flames. Another Reprieve. I think that actually beats me because we have both of our wishes gone and all of our Past in Flames gone. So the only way I can win now is via combat damage with the illusion. Alright, I'm going to concede. Mono white control got us. I wonder if I was too greedy game 2 with playing the Rail out. I think it was right, but it definitely cost me. And the mono white control deck victorious. So we are now 1-1 in this modern league. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For round number 3, we've won the die roll and we are on the play. Sure, I mean, it's a little clunky, but I think it's good enough. Our opponent reveals a Devourer of Destiny. We'll play a tapped Valakut Awakening, pass the turn. They exiled all 4 cards, so they did not find what they wanted. They play first turn Wastegate Battle Mage. Ooh, another Ritual. That was actually a very good draw here. We'll grab the Mountain and play Ruby Medallion. Pass. So I could have grabbed a Steam Vents. I don't have any of the 3 main deck copies of Flame of Anor yet. So I chose to not grab it. This is also a matchup where life total matters a lot. So I didn't want to deal myself the extra damage. Alright, so they're attacking for 7. I go to 12. Okay, I think it's our turn to do something here. I'm going to start with an Artist Talent. Play Pyretic Ritual. Trigger the Artist Talent. Discard Ruby Medallion. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Discard the Wooded Foothills. And I hit a land. That's good. We'll play Manamorphose. This can get rid of the Strike It Rich. Ooh, we hit a Rail. Okay. Red, blue. And I drew Flame of Anor. So, Storm count is 4, but it's -1 for Rail because of the Artist Talent. So I'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage here. And then we're going to cast the Flame of Anor with both modes. I'll draw 2. And we'll deal 5 to a creature. Trigger the Rail. So it's now -2. So I'm 2 spells away from flipping. And I think I want to keep both rituals. So I'm going to say no. I'll draw 2. Play Pyretic Ritual. So now we're on 5 for Rail at the moment. I draw another land. I'll say Tails. Win the flip. Say no. Play Desperate Ritual. And now I can flip at any moment. Discard a land. Rail triggers. We lose the flip. Okay, so it's all up to the flashback Strike It Rich here. Okay. Discard. Okay, we hit a Manamorphose. That was good. Say Tails. We win the flip. Say yes. We will ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. We hit Past in Flames. This game's over. We'll play Manamorphose. Discard Gemstone Caverns. Red. Play Manamorphose. Discard Steam Vents. Red, blue. Manamorphose. Discard the land. Blue, red. Friends Resolve. Discard Ruby Medallion. I guess I'll play the other Artist Talent. We need to find the win. Reckless Impulse. Discard Past in Flames. Discard Pyretic Ritual. Play Ren's Resolve. I suppose I could have played the other Rail there. 15 cards left in our deck, just digging for Wish at this point. Play the Rail. Play Desperate Ritual. Discard the Arid Mesa. Discard Ruby Medallion. Trigger. I win the flip, I'll say yes. Keep the one with 16 counters on it. We'll ultimate the Rail. What? Why isn't it letting me? Oh, the Desperate Ritual's still on the stack. Whoops. Alright, and now we'll ultimate. And there's a Wish. We'll play the Wish. 2 cards left in my deck. I'll say no. And Grape Shot for lethal. Storm 20. Target you. Okay, so it looks like we're going to win game number 1 here. And once again, like the previous 2 matches, we're going to bring it into the Flood Maw and board out, whoops, Artist Talent and Strike It Rich. I was thinking in between rounds, I think in the previous match I should have boarded in some number of Pact of Negation. Just, you know, after seeing more of their deck, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience facing Mono White Prison, believe it or not. It's not the most popular deck in the format. So I think in hindsight, I would have wanted Pact of Negation in some number. I don't know what I would have sideboarded out, but I would have wanted Pact of Negations just to stop Orm's Chant or a Timely Reprieve, something like that. Game number 2 on the draw. This has no lands we can't keep. Ooh. Well, if you rip a land, you could try for a turn 2. I think I'm going to keep this, and we'll be greedy and get rid of the Into the Flood Maw. We're going to play for greatness here. Okay. The opponent also with a mulligan. I think we're waiting on their pregame effect here, because it says that they mulliganed to 6 and stopped, but now there's a pause on them, and there's the Devourer of Destiny, that pregame effect. Uggin's Labyrinth, sure. It that heralds the end. So, because of it that heralds the end, they could have a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer that would stop me from winning. Alright, well, we hit the untapped land, so if I'm able to... Like, if they play a creature I don't care about here, we can try for the turn 2 win. Alright, let's see it. Trinisphere. Well, I can no longer try for the turn 2 win. That's a bummer. We'll play Wooded Foothills and pass. And now they swing, 3 cards in hand. Kozilek's Command for 1. So I have Into the Flood Maw, but also Flame of Anor. So I have 7 outs to this Trinisphere. They put a card on top with the Kozilek's Command. I think I'll keep the Valakut Awakening, because it would allow me to dig super deep for an answer. It's just answering the Trinisphere is very costly. We will play the land and pass the turn. They play 4 mana for a Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, they overpaid because they have the It that heralds the end. They attack for 3, I'll go to 12. I'm running out of time here. I could be dead next turn. I'm going to cast Valakut Awakening. I don't even know if there is enough time to win now, because I'm going to take the hit, and then even if I were to draw Into the Flood Maw, I can't bounce the Trinisphere and have enough mana to win here, so I think I'm actually just deterministically dead. So we'll put all 5 there, and I drew the Flood Maw, but the problem is that, I don't know. I guess if I had hit a land and kept all the rituals, there was like a small world where I could try to win. Alright, well that kills me this turn. We can go to game number 3. If only I was on the play that game. Turn 2 win before you could even resolve your Trinisphere. Okay, so I will be on the play for game 3. Game 3, we're on the play. Ooh, this is a 1-lander. I don't think you're supposed to keep this. I really want to, but after losing game 2 to Trinisphere, I don't think it's a wise idea. We're going to begrudgingly keep this. And I say begrudgingly because, well, I guess I could bottom the Ruby Medallion, and then you'd have your 3 lands for Trinisphere. Maybe this is fine. Get rid of the Ruby Medallion. They have 2 copies of Devourer of Destiny. We'll play Wooded Foothills and pass. Okay, that's a lot of cards in exile. Turn 1, Uggin's Labyrinth. A lot of dig to find Trinisphere, which I don't like. Into the Flood Maw is a good find. We'll play the Steam Vents. I go to 17. And Rail Monsoon Mage. Pass the turn. They have another Uggin's Labyrinth. 4 mana here. Chalice of the Void on 2. Well, I have the Into the Flood Maw. That was an amazing draw. Ouch. And we'll cast the Flame of Anor with both modes. So we'll destroy an artifact and draw 2 cards. Just kill your Chalice. Trigger the Rail. We'll say Tails. No flip. Attack for 1. Pass the turn. They play a land. 5 mana now. Another Chalice of the Void. Okay. So I can bounce the Chalice on the end step and then try to win. You can have a fish. We'll start with attacking. Swing. Ren's Resolve. Trigger. Tails. We win the flip. Say no. Oh, another Wish and a Flood Maw. That was not very good. Desperate Ritual. Say Tails. We win the flip. Say no. So I can empty the Warrens for a small amount, but that's not like a feels good. Play the Wish. Tails. We lose the flip. Empty the Warrens for 8 Goblins. Trigger the Rail. We win the flip. This time I will transform. Pass the turn. They play Bojuka Bog. Okay. Thought-Knot Seer. So this will bounce the Wish, or remove the Wish from my hand. We draw Past in Flames. That doesn't really help here. I will start by bouncing the Thought-Knot Seer. We'll draw a card. Another Into the Flood Maw. Okay. Plus the Railway Line Prodigy. We're just going to swing out. If they want to attack the rail back, sure. So they'll block and take 7. Ooh, are you not going to block? Okay, they are going to block and take 7. They replay the Thought-Knot Seer. I'm going to just bounce the Thought-Knot Seer again. So now they get the exile trigger. They can exile the Past in Flames, but this way they don't have the Thought-Knot Seer as a blocker this turn, which I think is more important. They play It That Heralds the End. We will play Reckless Impulse. Ruby Medallion. Okay, they just conceded the match. That's good with me. We are now 2-1. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy of the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. Round number 4, we're on the draw. We've opened up a pretty good hand. I will keep this. No idea what the opponent's playing, but this hand, you know, it has a lot of stability. What it's lacking is mana, so if I need to win quickly, it might be a little bit sketchy, but we'll see. Turn 1 Commercial District, what are you playing? Not sure right now. We'll play the Thundering Falls, keep the Ren's Resolve, pass. Like, if I had to guess the mirror match, but I'm not really sure. They grab a mountain, and it is the mirror match, okay. Play the Rail Monsoon Mage, pass the turn. I have to hope that they can't turn 3 win on the play. Ooh. They Reckless Impulse into a Pyretic Ritual and another Ren's Resolve. Them hitting mana here is not what I wanted to see. That was a very good Reckless Impulse for them. And they hit another Ritual and a Past in Flames. I'm probably dead here. Those were 2 perfect impulses. Okay. Yep. That's a lot of looks. Yeah, they just have it all. Okay. We're super dead. Losing the die roll like a dummy. Okay. We're good to go to the next one. Never lose a die roll. The lesson here. Okay, so Blood Mod allows you to be a little faster compared to like Flame of Anor, which is kind of slow. I think that's really the only change I can make here. Alright, game 2 on the play. No, unfortunately. Can't keep that. This hand's super slow. We're going to 5. Don't love this, and they kept 7. Okay, so I don't think you're actually supposed to keep into the Flood Maw. Like, your hand just, even if you're able to slow them down a turn, this hand isn't able to capitalize on it. So you're supposed to hope that the opponent just, like, doesn't have it. Or they kept a slow hand. We'll fetch. Grab the Thundering Falls. Get rid of Wish. Alright, that was a good draw. Grab a mountain and play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Pass. They grab Commercial District. And they kept a card on top. They use Scalding Tarn. So they're playing white, which I didn't know that going into game 2. So if I had known, I would have boarded Impact and Negation for Orm's Chant. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Play the Steam Vents. Pass. There are lists, I mean, I do study the deck list, and there are some that are Naya, but the Naya ones that I'm familiar with don't play Commercial District, so I wasn't expecting them to be Naya. I would have thought that they were just straight Gruul. We're probably just dead here. They reveal a Wear Tear. They have a lot of interaction, it looks like. Prismatic Ending, Wear Tear, Reckless Impulse, they Manamorphose. 2 cards left in their hand. They Reckless Impulse again, revealing another Ruby Medallion and a Wish. And they end up passing the turn. We draw a Ritual. I will fetch. So I'm just trying to think of like what a winning game looks like here. I could grab the Thundering Falls and then Surveil into... If I hit a card I want, I could then Manamorphose into it. The thing is, if I hit Past in Flames, it's a little awkward because I want to go Pyretic Ritual, Splice Desperate Ritual, and then play Desperate Ritual to get ahead. But I can't do that if I get a tap land. So if I hit Past in Flames, I look like an idiot. But if I don't hit Past in Flames, which is more likely, the Thundering Falls is better. I think you're supposed to play towards not hitting the best possible outcome. Maybe I'll regret that. Thundering Falls into the Flood Maw. So I think I'm actually going to keep that here to make it so it's tougher for them to take advantage of the cards in their hand. And we'll give them a fish. Pass the turn. So they could play like double Ruby Medallion here, but they can't take advantage of the wish into like a Past in Flames. They play the Medallion from exile, and now they Manamorphose. Heretic Ritual from hand. They play the other Ruby Medallion. So now if they play Wish, they can't Past in Flames unless they have another ritual in their hand. And they do, so I guess I'm dead. Yep. Sometimes you just lose in Magic, and like, I'll be honest with you, there wasn't a whole lot I could have done this round. Our opponent just drew better than we did, and that happens. So, yeah. Looks like our opponent's going to get this one. They're already at 10 Storm. They have a Wish that they can play from the graveyard. They have a bunch more mana. I'll save them a few clicks here. We can just concede. We're now 2-2. The best legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory, featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. The fifth and final round, we are on the play. Sure. Like, I'm not crazy about this hand, but I think that it's fine enough. Play the Wooded Foothills and pass. Turn 1, Dragon's Rage Channeler. And a Mishra's Bauble. Gets rid of an Overgrown Tomb. Okay, not what I was expecting. I mean, I suppose this could be like a Jund deck. I mean, obviously you see the Jund colors. I was thinking something like Izzet Murktide initially. I mean, it could be a Hollow One deck. It could just like be Boomer Jund. Keep the land. I'm going to just play the Artist Talent this turn. And we'll pass. They play Wooded Foothills. Or a Stomping Ground. I don't know what that does. I need to read this. Biotech Specialist from Edge of Eternities. It's a 1/3. When it enters, create a lander token. And then when you sacrifice an artifact, it deals 2 to target opponent. Okay. We draw the Rail Monsoon Mage. I think I'm going to try to do something this turn. We'll play Rail. Heretic Ritual. Triggers. Tails. Lose the flip. Artist Talent. Discard Past in Flames. Heretic Ritual. Ren's Resolve. Triggers. Discard Wish. Another Ritual, that's good. Say Tails. I don't want to flip. Alright, so the rituals here allow me to cast the Past in Flames. From 4, I'll say Tails. Discard. And then we'll play the other Desperate Ritual. Trigger the Rail. You lose. That's fine. Discard the Arid Mesa. Another Desperate Ritual. Say Tails. We lose the flip. And the opponent concedes. Nice. One game away from a positive record. Okay, so another non-blue deck. We're just going to board the normal way, taking out Artist Talent and Striker Rich. Hit submit. Alright, game 2 on the draw. I will keep. Our friend, the Dragon's Rage Channeler, is back. Rail Monsoon Mage was a good draw. Get rid of the Wish. We just don't need it. Urza's Saga. Weapons Manufacturing. Another new card. Whenever a non-token artifact enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions with, when this leaves, it deals 2 to any target. Sure. And they get rid of a Galvanic Blast. Now they play a Mox Opal. Sure. They make a black mana for Thoughtseize. So this is probably going to discard the Rail Monsoon Mage. And it does. And now they attack for 3. We draw Bloodstained Mire, a fine draw. I'll grab a basic. Let's play Ren's Resolve into 2 lands. Not ideal. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. And with the weapons manufacturing, those construct tokens are going to be large. They attack for 3. I'll go to 13. A third Flame of Anor. I'm going to just play my land and pass. They create a construct. And now they surveil with Commercial District. And now Urza's Saga. So if they have a Swiftfoot Boots, I'm taking a lot of damage here. Or Lava Spur Boots, I mean. They grabbed a Mox Opal. Interesting. Well, I'm going to fetch down to 12. We can kill one construct. We can kill the construct. And then only take 3. This puts me down to 9. And they have the Biotech Specialist. I take 2 damage off the Bauble. And now they draw. Wish. I still can't win yet. So the best thing I can do is destroy the construct and then With the lander token plus their damage in play, they can put me to 1. And the bobble kills me. Okay, so we can go to game 3. My draw was just too slow that game. Try it again. On the play. We've opened up a hand that does not function. We will send it back. This one seems fine. I'll get rid of the Flame of Anor. Play the Scalding Tarn and pass. They play Stomping Ground and Channeler. We'll grab our Surveil land. Get rid of the Valakut Awakening. Wooded Foothills is the draw. We'll play Ruby Medallion. Pass. Wooded Foothills. They grab a Blood Crypt, another Channeler, and a Nile Spellbomb. We draw Manamorphose. Let's start with a Ren's Resolve, a Rail Monsoon Mage, and a Ruby Medallion. I will Manamorphose. We've played 2 spells that count towards Rail. We draw another Ruby Medallion, play another Reckless Impulse. We hit a land, we'll play it. Fetch. Grab a mountain. And I will Manamorphose. So this is 4 spells that count towards Rail. Past in Flames. So that leaves me 1 short. I'll play Reckless Impulse. And Rail does not do it this turn. Unfortunate. I'll play the other Ruby Medallion. We needed to find more mana and it did not happen. So now they have the Nile Spellbomb. And they can just exile my graveyard. So we're pretty far away from winning, I think. They play a Raucous Theater. So with the final Ren's Resolve, I thought that if I hit any Ritual or even another Reckless Impulse effect, I could play Rail and then cast it, but then we revealed land Past in Flames, so it was like worst case scenario. I didn't even get a chance at a 50-50 to flip Rail. I mean, I don't think I played that wrong. It's just like the deck didn't give us anything. And now they play another Weapons Manufacturing. And I'm actually pretty close to dead. So they'll attack for 6 here, I go to 9. Next turn they attack for 6. They sacrifice the Spell Bomb. I mean, we'll play the land. Play Reckless Impulse, I guess. Flame of Anor and a Ren's Resolve. I'll play the Rail. And I think I'm going to kill one of their creatures and draw 2. Trying to slow them down a little bit. I guess I'm paying incorrectly. Need to tap mana the right way. Kill a Channeler. Trigger. Say Tails. We win the flip. I'll say yes. Even if they attack it in order to knock it down, it still buys me time here, and I think that's just good enough. And then I'll plus the Rail. Pass the turn. I'm just looking to buy time at this point because I'm so close to being dead. And if I don't flip the Rail, there's a possibility the Rail could actually kill me. They play an Anvil. Okay. I mean, I don't think I'm dead here, but I could be wrong. They swing, I go to 6. They could sacrifice. From what I see is this puts me to 1. 2, 2, 1 puts me to 1. Oh, I think the Spellbomb might kill me. Yeah, the Spellbomb sacrifice kills me. And they got it. So we went 2-3. Not the best record. What did I think of the deck list? I felt like a dog in the mirror match. But I think that happens anytime you're not playing white. Because the opponent having Orm's Chant and Prismatic Ending puts them at such an advantage. But I do think that having blue is usually better in almost every other matchup. Regarding the main deck, I really like the cantrip build. Like, it's just a lot more consistent. And I felt like the deck list today showed some inconsistency with not being able to find a reducer or not finding rituals and all those sort of things. Having cantrips like Preordain and Consider really smooths things out. So I like the cantrip build, but this is the build that Ari enjoys, so that's what we played today. Ari, thank you for the donation deck. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, and if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier, it's totally worth it, I promise, and see ya, thanks for watching.